This was written in a pamphlet which was put out by Chabad in the city of Bereket. Bereket was a Yemenite. There's a lot of Yemenites in Chabad. They're called Taimani, Jews from Yemen. There's a lot of them in Chabad. Anyway, there's a big, huge community um, of Chabad, mostly. I don't know if it's that way anymore. I think nowadays it's first of all, it's grown tremendously. So anyway, Bereket, and they put out a monthly, I think, or a bi-monthly, something like that, a pamphlet, and it had a couple stories in it. This is one of the stories, and they even brought the names of the people, which I don't have here. A couple was married for 20 years. Jews, Yemenite Jews. They were married for 20 years. They didn't have any children. They did everything that they could. Everything they could. They went to doctors, the alternative medicines. They gave charity. They prayed. They did everything. And finally, the woman, she went to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. I don't know if these people were Chabad. I don't know if they were Chabad, but eventually they became Chabad. Or in any case, the woman went to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And this, I think, was the time when the Rebbe was giving out dollars. So she went in front of the Rebbe and she said that she doesn't have any children. She's been married to 20 years. And the Rebbe told her, had she ever been engaged before to be married? So she thought about it and she said briefly that she was engaged for a short amount of time. This was like, more than 20 years ago. And she broke off the engagement. So the Rebbe said, it could be, maybe this was before the Rebbe gave out dollars. It must have been, because it was a long conversation. And because how it was, the woman said to the Rebbe that she had been engaged briefly before she got married. And for whatever reason it was, she realized it wasn't good and she broke off the engagement. So the Rebbe said, did you request forgiveness? Did you ask forgiveness from the person? And did the person, did he forgive you? So the woman said, I didn't think it was necessary. I mean, we made the engagement party, but then, things happened and I realized that it just wasn't right. And so the Rebbe said, we have to request forgiveness from him. So the woman said, I don't know where he lives. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, he doesn't live in Bereket for sure. And this is more than 20 years ago. I don't know what. So the Rebbe said, this is the way the story goes. So the Rebbe said, go to the train depot in Rehovot. Rehovot is not far from Bereket. Rehovot. At such and such a day, in the afternoon, whatever. And I think you'll find them there. So she said, okay. So she went back home. She told her husband what was happening. So the husband said, okay, go. So she said she wanted to go there alone. She didn't want to bring her husband with her. So she went alone. And she was looking around and she saw a man sitting at the, older man, Yemenite. And she went over to him and said, excuse me, is your name such and such? And he said, yes. And she said, listen, I'm very, very ashamed. I'm very embarrassed what I did. If you remember, more than 20 years ago, we were engaged to be married and I broke off the engagement. Do you remember that? He said, yes, I remember that. He said, listen, I want to ask forgiveness. I didn't think it was necessary then. I'm really sorry. Do you accept my forgiveness? I said, yes. I forgive you, 100%. I accept you. I understand. No problem. I understood back then. No problem. I forgive you. So thank you. That was it. She went back home, told her husband about the whole story. And sure enough, a few months later, she became pregnant. And she gave birth 9 months after that to a baby boy. And they made the bris. And at the bris, you make a big meal. And at the meal, she stood up and she said she wanted to tell a story about how she's thankful to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And he told her this amazing thing that to find the husband, and how he knew that he was going to be in this train station in Rehovot. It's amazing. And someone that was there heard the story, and he said, "I remember that. I remember that you were engaged to that fellow. His name was such and such, right?" She said, "Yes, yes, that was his name." He said, "Well, you should know that he passed away 10 years ago. He's not alive." And she had just seen him, right? What is it? A year earlier in the train station. And he passed away 10 years. How could it possibly be? And it worked. He forgave her, and she gave birth to children. So the story is a miracle within a miracle. A miracle that the man, how did the Rebbe know the person was going to be there? And the person, in fact, wasn't there. He wasn't in the world. So his soul came back. That's the story. And because of that, the world woman gave birth to a child. And somehow or other, the Rebbe engineered this whole thing, or he was aware of the whole thing. What happened, I don't know. But the child is a evidence that it worked. The Rebbe arranged this amazing miracle that this woman would be able to have another child in the world. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you all, God willing, tomorrow at 8 o'clock.